Before we get started with today's episode, I want to tell you about a brand new program that I have open right now. And this is 8 weeks, which is 2 months of one-on-one strength training coaching with me. I created this offer because I see how many people actually need one-on-one coaching because they are unique. You are unique, and you need a plan that is designed based on what you have available, how much time you have available, how your body is feeling, what kind of past injuries you may have, what kind of goals you have, do you have chronic pain, and so on and so on. You need a customized workout plan and also one-on-one coaching if you want to be truly successful at it. Whether you are a complete beginner, you can get started with strength training, absolutely. If you have some chronic pain, chronic sensations, you can get started with strength training, and I am here to support you all the way. You have my full support. If you already are on a little bit more of an intermediate level, but you feel stuck, you can improve your workouts and get more results out of your workouts. I am here to support you with all this. So this 2-month program includes a custom workout plan that I put together based on our first conversation, which is going to be thorough and detailed. I want to know how I can best support you. I want to know what is going on in your life, in your body, what can you do, and what are your expectations. I'm going to create this plan based on that. It also includes bi-weekly calls with me and then 5 days a week of text message access. You can also send me workout videos and exercises so that we can fix your form if there's something that we need to fix or do differently. I want to make sure that you're fully supported. And like I said, I am here to help you with everything that I can. Applications are open until March 17th, which is Monday. So go ahead and check out the link in the show notes, in the YouTube description, and in my Instagram bio as well. When you go there, please make sure to watch the introduction video. It's really, really important. Strength training truly can change your life the way that it has changed my life personally. So this is my mission, to get as many people as possible into strength training, because this is truly the best thing that you can do for your health. Go ahead and check out the link in my bio, in the show notes, in the YouTube description, and I can't wait to receive your application. Hey everybody, how are you doing? This is your host Kirsten here, and thank you so much for joining me today. This is a new episode of A Better Way with Kirsten podcast. On this podcast, we're talking about chronic pain and chronic sensations that are neuroplastic. Many people also know them as TMS sensations or TMS symptoms. And what it means is that we have these chronic pains and sensations in the body that are oftentimes extremely uncomfortable, but they don't have a real physical cause. You've tried so many things. You've tried so many things to figure it out. You've changed maybe your diet, your movement patterns, your sleeping patterns, your whatever, all the things, taking all the supplements and so on and so on. Nothing really has been helpful. And if this is the case, then there's a really good chance that what you're dealing with is nervous system dysregulation. And this dysregulation is causing you these uncomfortable situations and problems that you really clearly feel in your body. When I share this with people, sometimes they can be like, oh my God, this is in my head. You want to tell me this is in my head? And no, this is not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that this is caused by your nervous system. Yes, your brain is of course a part of it too, but this is different than saying that this is in your head. When we say that this is in your head, it sounds like you're making this thing up. But I know that you're not making this thing up. These sensations are super, super real. And I know this from my own personal experience very well also. My goal here on this podcast is to help you with these sensations and symptoms. And an additional goal I have here is that I really want to encourage you to start exercising. If you have been staying away from this for a little while because your body has been in so much pain or feeling so much discomfort, understandably, you might be in a place where you're saying that I just cannot do this. I am so scared. I think I'm going to make things worse, and so on and so on. So my goal here with this podcast is to help you understand that there's nothing physically wrong if you truly have been checked out by medical professionals and nobody has been able to help you truly, and you now know that this is really a neuroplastic sensation caused by nervous system dysregulation, I want you to continue exercising or get started with it and pick up strength training, because this can be so empowering. It's so valuable. We all know about the physical benefits of it, but also mentally and emotionally, because most people that I know who have suffered from these TMS or neuroplastic pain sensations don't really have like high level of self-confidence. They don't have this like, I got this, I have high self-worth. No, usually these people, and I'm sorry if this is not you, then that's great. And I don't mean to be like offensive or anything, but a lot of times the case is that these people feel really small about themselves. They want to go hide. They lack self-confidence. They feel like they're nobody. They feel like they never get anywhere. They're worse than others. They compare themselves with others. They don't want to express their emotions. All of these things are actually very, very common to those people who develop these chronic sensations. And now strength training, when we talk about the mental and emotional benefits of it, allows you to become stronger that way too. You will become mentally so much stronger. You're going to be the person who is like, I got this. I got my own back. I am strong. I'm capable. I'm okay speaking my mind. I don't have to go hide anywhere anymore. I have the exact same right to say what I mean as anybody else. And that doesn't mean being mean or rude. Absolutely not. But you just develop the sense of self. Like, this is me, and this is how I show up in this world with full confidence, and I'm proud of myself. And this is one thing that strength training can really, really do for you. If you don't have that attitude right now, if you're thinking that you're smaller and less important than anybody else, you don't want to stay there, because this is also contributing to your sensations, to these sensations that we call TMS or neuroplastic. These beliefs about yourself, they are huge. They are so huge. That's why you have these chronic problems. And I'm saying this like over and over again. And I have seen in my clients and friends, when they have started strength training, they change. They really change. They start believing in themselves. They show up for themselves. They start to value themselves. No longer is it like we're going to put everybody else first. We're going to show up because for myself, I'm important here too. And this is one reason why I'm really talking about strength training so much and want you to give it a try and give it a go. And this is why right now I'm also offering the one-on-one coaching for 2 months at a discounted rate that you heard about at the beginning of this podcast, because I really want you to get started with this. Don't wait. And we have talked about the strength training physical health benefits also a couple of episodes ago. You can go and check it out. I believe it was titled Life-Changing Things About Strength Training That You Have to Know. Go and listen to it. There are very, very important things that you have to understand about strength training, and that will show you that you really shouldn't be waiting any longer to put it off or wait until my symptoms and sensations are gone, then I'm going to get started. It doesn't happen this way. The way it happens is that you're going to start moving your body, even if it is a little bit more walking at first, if this is the only thing you can do. But if you can already walk, there's really no reason why you cannot start gentle body weight strength training. And so when you start doing these things, when you start living your life in other ways too, you do that first, and then the sensations start to leave, because you're proving to your nervous system that I am okay. And I'm not talking about doing anything crazy. I don't want you to overwhelm your nervous system. And like I mentioned in the previous episode, actually Annie was talking about it in this mini testimonial that she had. She said that I jumped right in and I started doing 7 days a week, and this is why I got a flare up. And that's exactly what we want to avoid, because we have to give our nervous system some time to adjust to this new thing. And once you adjust to this new thing, once you take your first step, things are going to get better. And this is how you prove to your body and to your brain that I am okay. I can do this. And that's so valuable. Doing basically anything that you are afraid of in small increments though, right? We're not going to like jump in and go crazy, although that works for some people. But I find that for most people, doing a little bit is better, so that we can adjust and open the window of tolerance a little bit more. And then we do a little more. Because when we come back to strength training, then For example, if you go all in and go crazy, that can be just like too much, and you're going to be in pain and your sensations are going to get worse. But you can do it in small steps and regulate yourself before and during if needed, and your workouts are going to be successful. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? I was ranting for a little too long, but I just want to deliver this message to you, how much strength training really can help you, and you just can't sit there and wait. This is not how your nervous system is accepting this new thing that you want to do. If you're just sitting and waiting and talking, you're not going to get better. You have to show. This is how your nervous system learns, by you showing what's safe. All right, so finally, let's go to the meat of today's podcast. And the thing we're going to talk about today is actually about fears. And what I'm going to share with you today is a conversation that I actually had yesterday with one of my clients. And she worked with me for, I think, 6 months, 5 or 6 months. And yesterday was our last call together. She's now moving on her own and continuing training on her own, which, by the way, has to happen. This is totally normal and how things should go. So she's now moving on, and we had our final call. And I asked her if she would tell me a little bit more about, looking back now when we are wrapping up our work together and she's, going to continue on her own, if she could look back to the beginning of our process of our work together and maybe even take a little step back from there and share with me what kind of fears did she have before she decided to, so to speak, pull the trigger and sign up to work with me. And she told me that her biggest fear was that, what if I run out of energy completely and I cannot do even normal everyday things anymore? So to put it differently, what if the energy that is needed for me to do strength training, which maybe takes 30 minutes to 60 minutes or so, what if I work out and I'm so exhausted that I cannot even cook like the simplest dinner? So that was one of her biggest fears. And she said, that's why I was doubting it. I was like, I can't live my life if I end up this way. And I've heard similar things from other people too. So this could be an example with fatigue, right? You're so fatigued. You think you're so fatigued, you cannot do anything anymore. Another one, when you have pain, could be like, okay, my lower back is really painful already. And now if I'm going to do things that require me to use my back, which is most strength training exercises, then I'm going to be in so much pain that I cannot move at all anymore. Or if it's somebody who has anxiety, might say, even just the thought of strength training makes me so anxious. So what if when I actually get started with it, I get so anxious that I'm become unable to even leave my house anymore? And these are 3 examples of how people really think that strength training is going to make it worse. It has to make it worse. And it's logical, because if you don't feel good in your body, then you want to do anything that you can to make yourself feel better. And when you think about doing something that could take more energy out of you or possibly make you more sore or increase your anxiety, then of course you don't want to do this. It's understandable. And here's the but you have to understand that if you do this thing right, you are very likely going to have a completely different experience. And you're going to learn that moving your body actually helped you. And this was my client's experience too, because otherwise she would not have continued with me for 6 months. And she told me that she started doing the workouts, obviously. Yes, we worked together. So she started doing the workouts, and most weeks she did 3. Sometimes she did 2. And around Christmas, there was a week when she didn't do any. But she was still consistent most of the time, all the time. And now she's saying that I never thought that I could be so consistent. I didn't lose all my energy. I actually had more energy. I can still do all the things with my child that I need to do. She has a toddler. I can still do all these things. My pain hasn't gotten worse. It didn't. My anxiety didn't go up. It didn't, right? So all these things that people are so afraid of usually don't happen because of what we talked about in the beginning too. When you slowly, little by little, open the window of tolerance and teach your nervous system that what you're doing is safe, your nervous system is starting to accept it. But if you don't ever show it to your nervous system and you run away immediately, then it's going to get confirmation that this stuff is dangerous and we should avoid this. So now you have to think, what kind of message do you want to send to your nervous system? Do you want to get stronger? Do you want to show your nervous system what is possible? Do you want to take responsibility for fitness and your longevity and how good and independent you feel when you get older? Do you want to take responsibility for your physical strength, for your bone density, for your blood sugar regulation and all that? And this is possible for you. You just have to be brave enough and start doing something a little bit. My client also told me that she couldn't believe that, she could lift so much heavier weights. So at first she started with 10 pounds, doing squats with that. And now I think she was doing 40 pounds in both hands, which is really, really good strength increase. And she said, I didn't know that I can do it. She also told me that just recently she accidentally put more weight on those adjustable dumbbells and she kind of calculated it wrong. And then she was like, why am I feeling not so strong today? How come I'm struggling so much? Comes out she had put a lot more accidentally. So I don't know what the exact number was, maybe like 60 or something pounds. And she was able to do these repetitions, but she said, yes, I was struggling. Then I realized that I had put so much more on my dumbbells. But that shows what she was actually capable of. So now she could have told herself like, oh my God, look at that. You lifted 60 instead of the 30 pounds that you were safe with before. It absolutely must mean that now we're going to be screwed and we're going to be hurting. We're going to get all these fatigue sensations and it's going to be awful. She didn't tell herself that story because she knows that she is okay. She is safe. She even showed herself what she's actually capable of, even though it happened on accident, right? She didn't plan for that, but oh my God, she was able to lift 60 pounds instead of 10, which is what she started with. So this shows that really, like what you believe, this is so important. And I want to offer to you 3 things that you have to keep in mind if you want to start with your workouts and you have these fears and these things popping up that are telling you that you shouldn't be doing this. Now, the first thing is this. You have to be confident in this quote-unquote diagnosis, because I don't know what else to say about this, what other word to use. The diagnosis of neuroplastic pain or neuroplastic sensation or neuroplastic symptom or TMS, whatever you want to call it. You have to know for sure that this is what it is, right? Because if you're still having these doubts like, oh, maybe I have a little bit of this and maybe I have a little bit of that, maybe I do have this medical issue or maybe I do have this this diet problem or something like that. If you're still doubting, then you're bringing this doubt into your workouts too. And this is, you're not trusting it, right? You're not trusting that what you're doing is okay. You're still guessing all the time. You're probably moving your body around and trying to find places that are painful to get evidence that you shouldn't be doing this because there's probably something wrong with you. So the first thing is really that you have to be sure that you know what this is, that this is neuroplastic pain, this is TMS, and this really isn't dangerous. And what you're about to do when you're going to lift weights is normal. Nothing abnormal about working out. The second thing to keep in mind, if you're ready to get started, and I hope you are ready now, is to start small. And like I mentioned before, I was sharing with you Annie's story, a little bit of it. Don't start with something that is super crazy. You see, it's kind of like people signing up for these New Year's challenges. They go from being on the couch to now doing like 7 workouts a week. And let's some days do even 2 a day. And let's make sure that it's high intensity. And let's make sure that we really go all in because this is the only way we know how to do life, right? But this doesn't work. Because this is going to be too much for your nervous system to handle, also too much for your physical body. If you haven't done anything for a long time, months or years, of course you're going to get insanely sore too. So there is a physical aspect to it too, but the nervous system aspect is it's just too much for it to handle. So what we want to do is we want to take tolerable steps, right? So let's start with a little bit. Let's give you a goal of maybe 2 workouts a week. But if you already feel great after 2, let's add the third one in too. So we're going to do something that is very simple. I'm not going to give you like complicated things with complicated tools and equipment and things like that. We're maybe going to start with just body weight. You're going to do maybe a plank hold with your knees on the floor, or something very simple. Maybe you're going to have, I have some water bottles there in the corner. Maybe you're going to pick up 2 water bottles and do some overhead presses or something like that. It can be very, very simple. So please don't overwhelm yourself, your nervous system, or your physical body with crazy intensity stuff that are really hard to recover from. Nobody needs that stuff, especially people who have had these chronic sensations and who maybe have a little bit more sensitive nervous systems. We can start with simpler things. And I also want to say that even if you already have weightlifting experience, you still don't need to do high intensity training 7 days a week. Trust me, I've done this. Was not what I hoped it was, because, not what I hoped, but I'm trying to say it was not healthy for me. I burnt myself out. Absolutely not necessary. Strength training in general, let's say there's a completely healthy, normal, fit, capable, able person. Even that person doesn't need to do more than 3 workouts per week. Why are we pushing ourselves so hard? Why? With strength training or any exercise, more is not better. The exact right amount is what's better, what's best thing. We don't have to push. We don't have to go so hard that we never recover. We don't have to, arrange our life around our workouts. This is not how it goes. We start simple and we do the things that actually work, that help your body and help your nervous system to learn that this movement thing is not dangerous. Okay, the last thing, the third thing that will really help you if you want to get started is to learn to regulate your nervous system. I've talked about it a lot in the couple, since maybe the end of last year or so, how to regulate your nervous system. One way to do it is with somatic work, and there, of course, anything that calms your system down. Maybe it is going outside before you do your workout and standing outside a little bit, letting the sun shine on you, taking the sun in, maybe putting your feet on the ground, really feeling the ground, feeling the earth. This could be very calming and regulating. Calling a friend can be very calming and regulating, but also somatic tools that I've shared on this podcast too. And these somatic tools can be used anytime when you feel a little bit uncomfortable or anxiety coming up because, oh my God, there's this fear. What if the workout's going to go terrible? Okay, come back to point 1, which is know what this is. This is neuroplastic pain, not dangerous. You can do this, okay? So how can we come back to this calm and present state? Well, you could, for example, shake your body. You can shake your body, you can jump around, you can bounce around, you can slap your arms and legs. Get that anxious energy out. Then you can tap your chest, for example, as long as it needs to for you to start feeling calmer. And then you can do some breathing exercises where your exhale is longer than your inhale. So you can ground yourself this way before you do it, before you go and do your workout. And then you're going to go into it from a regulated place. And how you know that you're regulated, you feel better in your body, but also you notice that your language is better. Your language is no longer, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. Your language is going to be like, let's do this. Like this calm, confident language. And I know this is good for me. I'm here for it. Let's go. I know it's going to go well. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly healthy. This is going to be so good for me, right? So when your nervous system is regulated because you took a minute to do it, then this is what your language sounds like too. And now let's say that during your workout, you maybe have something popping up, because it is possible, something popping up, or you feel anxious or whatever the thing is. You can do the same regulating exercise there too. My own example would be, I work out at the gym and there's a lot of loud music sometimes, and I use earplugs because I don't like loud music too much. Sometimes I listen to a podcast, but sometimes I don't. And there are times when the music is just so loud that it makes me internally kind of irritated, a little bit agitated, and oh, really, I don't want it. Actually, the other thing is when we have the leaf blowers outside, and that noise too can really trigger me. So noise is one of these things that I don't love a whole lot. My home is always super quiet. My husband is the same way, and this is what really works for us. So now when I go to the gym and there's a lot of loud music, and usually not the type of music that I would really like, then I can notice that sometimes in the middle of the workout, it's oh, it's too much. Why is it so loud? And I'm starting to get these thoughts who needs this to be so loud? I don't like it. Oh, and so then I'm starting to feel yeah, I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good. and I can just get up and I can jump and shake. This is totally normal. It looks normal to you. It's a gym. People move their bodies. That's what people do at the gym. So I could just like bounce around, a little bit, maybe like slap my arms and my legs, shake it out a bit. I can do some chest tapping. I've done that plenty of times. I'm doing like a set of squats. I sit down and I'm just sitting there tapping my chest. Nobody's ever told me that there's anything weird about it. Even if they did, I wouldn't care. Or I've often also done slow breathing. So let's say after chest tapping, I feel like I need something to really ground me down now. Then I'm going to do maybe 4 in and 8 out. So 4 counts in, 8 counts out. Even if you try this right now, you notice that it's instant, right? It slows you down, it regulates you. And I use this stuff in the middle of my workout myself too, sometimes when, especially with the music. Like there's not other things that really annoy me at the gym, but this could be one of them. And then I just regulate my nervous system and it's better. And I come back, to where I want to be. And then when I leave the gym, that I can be in my quiet car and it's all good again. So these are some tools that you could use, learn to regulate yourself before and then also during if this is needed, and also after if this is needed. After a workout, it can actually also be a good idea. So let's say that after it, you're feeling, again, kind of like I couldn't calm down, I couldn't settle down, I have this like buzzing in me from working out. Then what you can do is pick one or something else of these somatic exercises and just regulate yourself back to a good place again. Earlier this week, I shared on Instagram how I actually just did it on Monday after the gym. I went outside. I was sitting outside of at the back of my gym, so behind the gym building. I went there, and it's really nice there. So it's quiet. There are some businesses there, but they're all really quiet, and you can hear birds and stuff. And so I'm just like sitting there. And what I did this Monday, for example, because I felt like I was too activated, I would grab my opposite arm with my hand and I would just sway a little bit side to side, just sway and take your time to like notice what is going on. These exercises shouldn't be like, okay, let me do this real quick so I can get back to what I just did. It should be more like, okay, I'm actually taking some time here to notice how my physiology is shifting. And I'm noticing how I'm feeling calmer now. And you notice that I totally slowed down too when I was talking to you right now, because I literally started feeling calming when I was doing this swaying from side to side and telling you what to look for. Like look for the signs in your physiology that you're starting to calm down. And these somatic exercises are really good because if you practice them often, then your body learns them. And it also understands quicker that, oh, that's coming now, so we can start calming ourselves down already, right? Because you've done the chest tapping now already, let's say 50 times, or you've done the swaying side to side already like 20 times, and your body already is learning that, oh, this is something very calming and soothing. We like it. We're going to go into this relaxed state now quicker, and it starts to happen quicker. So to sum up today's podcast episode, if you have this fear of, when I start exercising, I'm going to make everything worse. My fatigue's going to get worse. My pain's going to get worse. My anxiety's going to get worse. Know that there are tools that you can use that help you have a different experience. And this is exactly what my client told me as well. She said, yes, I'm using these tools. I know there's nothing wrong with me. I'm doing the workouts anyway. Even if I have a little bit of sensation popping up, I know that I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And I just keep going. I keep showing up. I'm teaching my nervous system every time when I do workout that this is safe and this is normal. And now I've been doing this for 6 months. And she said, I didn't believe I could do this. My husband didn't think I could do this. But here I am, strength training for 6 months already and not going to stop. So I hope that today's podcast episode inspires you and motivates you and gives you a lot of courage, because I'm going to tell you one more time that if you don't do strength training, you are missing out on huge health benefits. You just need to do this, in my opinion. It is so, so important for people. And again, you can start small. You don't have to do anything crazy. And especially if you're a beginner, starting small will actually give you quick results. You don't even have to do anything insane or crazy. Like if there's somebody who's already on a really advanced level, that person can't get away with like a very, very simple basic bodyweight exercises. But if you're a total beginner and you do a little bit of isometric work, a little bit like simple exercise like that, you're going to see great benefits from that alone at the beginning. And you're going to be blown away how well this really works. Okay, so one more announcement, which you already heard at the beginning of this podcast. I am offering an opportunity to work with me one-on-one for 2 months and at a discounted rate. And this application is open until the end of the day on Monday, March 17th. So if you're listening to this right now, don't wait anymore and go fill out the application form. And then I will be in touch with you to talk about the next steps. All right. Thank you so much for being here today with me. And I'll see you again in the next episode. Take care.